Today we're looking at a trick-taking game that features a couple of unique twists. It's called Rebel Princess from Bezier Games. Hey gang, thanks for joining us at Taste Around Studio 3. I'm Will.
I'm Ryan, and today we're looking at Rebel Princess by Bezier Games. This is a 3 to 6 player trick-taking game, and you are princesses at a ball, and you are trying to not get proposed to by the princes.
Don't want to be getting proposed.
We ain't about that.
Yeah, this copy was provided to us for review sake. I think, did you actually buy a copy of it as well?
Yeah, my wife and I snagged one up at Gen Con.
It's fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it's played, and then we'll share our thoughts.
To set up the game, you'll give each player 2 random princess cards, and they're going to choose one to keep. Then, you'll create the deck for your player count, and you'll choose 3 to 5 round cards to lay out with a dark hourglass card in the slot for the last round.
You'll reveal the first round card and note its rules, and then you're ready to begin.
Rebel Princess is a trick-taking game that follows most of the regular rules, but there are a couple of twists. Besides what the round cards introduce each game, the real twist is that this party is for princesses. So, winning tricks with prince cards will score you negative points. That's a no-no.
Players can decide when to use their princess powers during the game. Some have ongoing abilities, like Thumbelina, Ignorance is Bliss, where you can play any card except for the frog or the prince, and you do not have to follow suit, which is cool, so you don't have to match what's being played.
Now, other cards might occur before the trick, like Cinderella's Everything Changes at Midnight. Before a trick, reverse the hierarchy of numbers.
And then move on. Hers is actually after the last card has been played in the trick. You can swap the card that you played for another of the same suit, except for the frog. So you've got those ongoing abilities for the round that are going to change up everything, and then you've got these individual player powers that you can play, depending on when is appropriate for that card.
Once players have played all of their cards for the round, you're going to tally the scores and see who won that round.
So the game is going to be played over 3 to 5 rounds. Your scores from each round are going to carry over. And this is kind of like golf scoring, where you're trying to actually have the lowest number of prince proposals is the word for it. It's like a skull with a crown over top of it. And so each round you're trying to win some tricks so you can have control over what you play. You're really trying to kind of sandbag it and not win any tricks because you don't want to win those skulls, which is what you're going to actually total up at the end of the game. So you'll finish the round, you'll pull all your tricks that you've won together, you'll reveal the cards, and then you'll take negative points for the proposals that you have gathered. And the worst proposal in there is the bewitched frog prince, because he is a prince, but he's actually a frog. And so for those reasons, he's worth tons of negative points.
5, actually.
Yeah, which is too many. You're going to lose the game if you get too many of those. You can do, I don't remember what it's called in a normal trick-taking game, but when you win all of the skulls, all of the proposals.
So in a regular trick-taking game, it's called Shoot the Moon. Perhaps in Hearts or something like that. In this, you are the rebel of the ball.
That's right. And so you still get negative 10, but if you manage to get all of them, you don't get negative 25 or whatever it would be if you get all the skulls in your hand. All right, so what are you looking at right here?
Okay, so these are the round cards. Now, we've mentioned this before. Each round, there's going to be 5 rounds, and each one you'll have a different mechanic that you're navigating. So an example, single fairy. Everyone at the beginning, after they've gotten their cards, is going to pass one of their cards to the left. So that's an opportunity to get rid of your trash cards that you do not want to have in your hand. But then also, this one fairy cards. There's a certain suit, and the fairy cards is a suit. Those fairy cards for this round count as -1 proposal each. Nice. Or, the prince always rings twice. You'll pass one of your cards to the left, and then another card to the right. All players play a second card in player order after their first card. The sum of cards in the lead suit wins the trick. There's 26 of these, one for every letter out of the alphabet. So, after you've gone through and played with them all, then you can shuffle them, and every round is going to be its own little enigma that your group has to figure out to see who can navigate the crazy.
Right, so typically the rules say you're supposed to play 5 of these cards. You're supposed to use one of the dark hourglasses as the last round because it's the craziest. You can play shorter games. They recommend that you can play a 3-round game, but still use that dark card as your last one. And if you mix and match them, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what the goal is going to be for the round. All you know is that when this new thing gets revealed, we're going to probably pass cards a different way, and there's going to be a new thing that's happening, which has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this game because it takes all the basic stuff that you understand from a normal trick-taking game, but it adds just enough twist at the beginning of each round, and based on what your princess power is, that you feel like you're playing the same game, but it feels different every time, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, the princess mechanics, the round mechanics, there's just a lot of different things that you can navigate, and when you pull it off, it feels oh so satisfying, especially becoming the rebel of the ball. Have you done it yet?
I have not.
It's really hard, but it's super fun. I did it. I almost did it twice in the same game, but it was a good time.
I think if you're that amazing, you should get extra bonuses. I will say that the only thing that I don't like about the game is when you're playing it and you just get that crapshoot of hand that doesn't, you're going to be stuck with stuff, and then you're winning, you can't shoot the moon, but you get real close, and those skulls are crushing.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I don't know what it would look like, but it would be interesting if there were some sort of catch-up mechanic or something along those lines in these trick-taking games. I haven't really seen anything, but normally you get a trash hand, and then you get another trash hand, and then the third one you get a mid hand that becomes trash because of the people that you're playing with and how they hose you. And at that point, it's like, okay, now I need to play 2 more rounds, and I just got to not die. So that can feel pretty bad, but overall, lots of fun, good game.
Right, I do enjoy it for sure. I think I tend to want to play the 3-round version because of that. Because if you play 2 bad rounds in the beginning, it's real hard to come back from.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes these guys will let you get rid of some of your proposals, which feels really great because then you're like, oh, maybe there is a chance. But if you get a couple good hands at the start, this game will be easier.
Yeah, or if you're playing with people who don't understand how trick-taking games work, that can throw a very interesting monkey wrench into your plans.
Yeah, there is a different experience between experienced trick-takers versus people who've never played the game, which that's going to be true of any trick-taking game.
So did you find a sweet spot? I've played with all player counts, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought each of them was interesting in its own way, so I really didn't... I don't know if there was really a sweet spot. It just kind of depends on what type of game you're looking for. With 3, it was a bit easier to navigate just because you don't have quite as many cards being thrown into the mix and everything, but if you want the chaos, princess powers being thrown left and right, all of that stuff, a 6-player game is pretty fun in its own way too.
That's what I was going to say. Some of the princess powers do seem a little more powerful than others, which is fine in a 5-player game, but if you are in like a 2 or 3-player game and one person's power is way better than the others, like that's when it can be painful. Yeah. But I agree. I think 3, 4, 5 feels very, very right. Doesn't seem to matter whose power has got what, and I think that flows pretty good. One thing that I don't have in this pack, but maybe you got, is the super cool promo card.
Yes.
There's a princess that has a mirror on it. I should probably know which princess that is.
It's escaping me. But yeah, it's a mirror.
The one who looks in the mirror. Is it Sleeping Beauty? Cinderella?
No.
One of those. And the promo card actually has like the mirror in it. It's super cool.
Yeah.
They've got some neat things, some additions that you can find for this game as well. If it sounds like something you would enjoy, if you like trick-taking games, if you like a little bit of being mean to each other and having a good time while doing it, definitely check out Rebel Princess from Bezier Games. And then as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, following along, liking all of our videos here at Tantrum House.
Bye-bye.
Hey gang, welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will.
I'm Ryan. So today we're going to be taking... Alright, go ahead.
One more time.
Or up to 3 to 8 players. You are princesses at a ball, and you are trying to not get proposed
3 to 6
to.
players. Keep going.
I'm sorry.
One more time.
Last one. This is it. Apologies.
Here we go.